Hello everyone, myself Jayashree and I belong to Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering of Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. Today's topic is on dynamometer type instrument. Actually this is the 17th lecture for my series EE216 and it belongs to module 6 and part 3 of Electrical Engineering for Applied Electronics and Instrumentation. Now, we'll be discussing in detail about dynamometer type moving coil instrument. Again, the second type of moving coil instrument, otherwise known as electrodynamic moving coil instrument. Its characteristic features followed by construction, working principle, the torque equation, merits and demerits. Applications, the same instrument can be used as ammeter, voltmeter and wattmeter with certain modifications. So, dynamometer type moving coil instrument can be used as an ammeter, voltmeter or wattmeter, but commonly used as wattmeter. Now, errors in instruments. So, this comes under moving coil instruments and it is called the dynamometer type moving coil instrument. Permanent magnet moving coil instrument we have studied in the previous lecture. Now, you can see the diagram over here. Instead of permanent magnets, here we are having air core solenoids acting as a magnet. That's the main change. So, this is a fixed coil and you can see these two fixed coils are connected in series and this is my moving coil present between the two fixed coils. We'll be studying in detail. And to the moving coil, you can see the pointer attached which moves over a graduated scale. Now, it works upon the principle of dynamometer. That is, the mechanical force exists between two current carrying conductors or coils. Now, the characteristic features accurate for both DC and AC measurements. For AC, it gives the RMS value. It can be used for measuring voltage, current and power, but commonly used for measuring power. Can be used as transfer and calibration instrument. We'll say it. It's portable and it provides values with great precision, has both fixed coil and mobile coil. Instrument follows a sine law response. We'll be studying in detail. Now, essentially it consists of 6 main components. The stationary system provided by the fixed coil. You can see the diagram over here. The stationary system is composed of 2 fixed coils and the moving system is provided by a moving coil which is provided on a spindle. The control system, you can see it is attached to a moving coil. You can see the spring attached to the spindle. Now, the damping system is provided, air friction damping is made use of, and you can see the pointer and scale over here, and it has to be shielded. So, these are the 6 main components of dynamometer type moving coil instrument. And you can see the next diagram shows the cross-sectional view of a dynamometer type moving coil. It will be having a non-linear scale. We'll discuss upon it. And FSD stands for full scale deflection. These two are the fixed coils and this is my mobile coil. You can see the control spring over here, which provides the controlling torque, and this is my pointer. Now, the stationary magnetic system, it's similar to permanent magnet moving coil, but instead of permanent magnets, here we are having electromagnets provided by 2 air-cooled solenoids. Both two are fixed to a frame and same connected in series. The operating field is provided by the fixed coil, which is divided into 2 sections to give a uniform field near the center, especially for the moving coil. The coil is wound with fine wire when used as a voltmeter and heavy wire since it has to carry large amount of current when it is used as ammeter and wattmeter. The wire is sometimes stranded to reduce the eddy current loss in conductors. Now, the moving system, the moving coil is wound either as a self-sustaining coil or else on a non-magnetic former. Same is also generally air-cooled, similar to fixed coil. The use of metallic former is avoided in order to avoid the inducement of eddy currents in the former, aluminum former. The moving coil is supported by an aluminum spindle and jewel bearings and carries a pointer moving over a graduated scale. The entire arrangement is very solid and rigidly constructed in order to keep the mechanical dimensions stable and its calibration intact. Now the control system is provided by one spiral spring. That one spiral spring is attached to coil assembly. One end connected to the frame and the other end connected to the coil. Serve three purposes. Firstly, does an important function by providing path to lead current in and out of the coil, provides a controlling torque when current flows through the coil, and keeps the pointer at the low end of the scale, 0 position, when there is no current through the coil. Now you are having the damping system. In PMMC we had seen that what kind of damping? Eddy current damping we had employed, but here we are employing air friction damping. Air friction damping use may be either of piston type or vane type. Eddy current damping cannot be used in these instruments as introduction of a permanent magnet for the purpose would distort the working magnetic field of the instrument. When pointer settles at its final steady position, the damping torque should reduce to 0. Now you are having the pointer and scale. The pointer is carried by the spindle attached to a moving system and moves over a graduated scale. Same indicates the angular position of the coil. The pointer is of light aluminum tube flattened at one end to form a vertical knife edge. Scale markings are non-uniform as it follows a square law, we'll say it, and in order to eliminate parallax error, a mirror is provided beneath the pointer. Now the shielding, which is mandatory for this kind of instrument, the operating magnetic field produced by the fixed coils in these instruments is somewhat weaker, between 0.0005 to 0.006 Tesla in comparison to that of instruments of other types. So it is essential to provide magnetic shielding to this arrangement. The complete assembly is surrounded by a laminated steel shield to protect the instrument from external magnetic field which may affect the operation of the instrument. So shielding, very important to this machine. Now the working principle works on dynamometer principle, interaction between the currents through the moving coil mounted on the spindle and through the fixed coils. When two coils are energized, their magnetic fields interact and the resultant torque tends to rotate the moving coil. Since there is no iron, the field strength is proportional to current through the fixed coil and therefore the deflecting torque is proportional to the product of the currents through the fixed and moving coil. We'll see the expression. The spring then produces the controlling torque to oppose further deflection. The controlling torque should act in opposition to the deflecting torque and they should be having equal magnitude, thus making the pointer settling to a final steady state position. And air friction damping brings the pointer to final fixed position, providing better precision while taking measurements. Now we'll see the expression for deflecting torque. You are familiar with this expression when we studied PMMC. Deflection torque is represented by T subscript D, which is proportional to B, the flux density, A, the area of the coil, N, the number of turns of the coil, and here you can see instead of IM, where IM is the current flowing through the moving coil. But here, since we are having coils, electromagnetic fields, flux density is provided by the current flowing through the fixed coil. So that is represented by IF. So B is proportional to IF. So what is IF? Current through the fixed coil. Now, therefore, I can write TD proportional to, replacing B with IF. So, TD is proportional to IF, A into N into IM. N is held in bracket because it is constant, it is fixed at the time of construction. So, that I can write the deflecting torque is proportional to IF and IM. In dynamometer type, since two coils are involved, the proportionality constant depends upon mutual inductance between two coils, which is represented by M. And M is a function of deflection angle also. So you can see over here M is a function of theta, or else I can write in differential format d by d theta, which is a function of M theta. Therefore, TD is equal to, changing the proportionality sign and introducing this constant, so TD is equal to Im IF dm by d theta. So you can see the arrangement. This is the deflection angle. You can see the graduated scale. You will find that it is non-linear. Two fixed coils and the moving coil present between the fixed coil and the moving coil. Two fixed coils. Now, expression for controlling torque based on Hooke's law, it is represented by Tc. So, Tc is equal to k theta, where k is the spring constant and theta the deflection angle. You can see over here the moving coil present between two fixed coils, and the theta is also marked in the diagram. Now, at equilibrium condition, Tc should be equal to Td, so that I can write k theta is equal to Im If dm by d theta, or theta is equal to Im If by k dm by d theta. Now, in the diagram, you can see the two coils are connected in series, so that I can write Im equal to If, and let it be represented by I as shown in the diagram, so that I can modify this equation as theta. The deflection angle is equal to I squared dm by d theta into 1 by k. That is, the deflection angle is directly proportional to square of the current in dynamometer type instrument. Hence, the scale is non-uniform or non-linear, or else I can even say it as quadratic, since theta is directly proportional to I square. Now, there are some merits and demerits. First, let us look into the merits. As the instrument has square law response, we had seen the expression, it can be used for both AC and DC. For AC, it gives the RMS value. These instruments are free from hysteresis and eddy current errors because of the absence of iron in the operating parts of the instrument. Useful for accurate measurement of RMS values of voltage irrespective of the waveforms. That means the waveforms can be even non-sinusoidal also. Because of precision grade accuracy and same calibration for DC and AC measurements, these instruments can be used as transfer instrument or as calibration instruments. So this can be kept as a standard. Now the demerits, the scale is not uniform as theta. We had seen theta is proportional to I square, or I can say theta equal to square root of I, proportional to square root of I. The magnetic field strength obtained in these instruments being small due to the absence of iron, a large ampere turns are required on the moving coil in order to obtain the necessary deflecting torque. As a result, the moving system becomes heavy and more power loss. Since expensive, they are used as ammeters and voltmeters only for precision measurements. Ammeters up to 10 amps and voltmeters up to 600 volt. Small torque weight ratio, and because of that sensitivity is low, high frictional losses and power consumption more due to large operating current. Sensitive to overloads and mechanical impacts, so should be handled with care. Now the applications, we can see when it is used as an ammeter, the two coils should be connected in series. If it is to measure low range current like 0.2 amps, we can see the diagram. Now when this instrument is used to measure high amount of current, about 20 amps, the moving coil is usually connected in series with a swamping resistance across a shunt together with fixed coils. So swamping resistance, moving coil connected in series, shunt and fixed coils connected in series, and these two arrangements connected in parallel. Fixed coils are made up of thick wires to carry larger currents. Now, to use the meter as a voltmeter, the coils are wound with high resistance wire, and fixed and moving coils are connected in series with an extra high resistor. You can see over here. Now commonly used dynamometer type instruments are commonly used as wattmeter. We'll look into it. We had seen that there are two fixed coils, two halves, and they are connected in series. We'll see the diagram, and they are connected in series with the load, and it carries a load current. You can see these two are the fixed coils connected in series, and that is connected in series with the load. Now, and hence it is called the current coil, wound with heavy thick wire, so that it is capable of carrying large currents without much drop. Now the moving coil is connected across the voltage, hence known as voltage coil or pressure coil, wound with relatively thin wire. A non-inductive high resistance is connected in series with this coil, thus limiting the current to a small value. Thus, this particular instrument, when it is used as wattmeter, will have 4 terminals, 2 for the current coil and 2 for the voltage coil. Now, when it is used in AC circuit, in order to measure power, the deflection is proportional to the product of voltage and the in-phase component of current. What is the in-phase component of current? I cos phi. So, we can say this instrument measures active power. So, P is equal to V into I cos phi. I cos phi is the in-phase component of current. Or else I can write P is equal to VA cos phi, and that is nothing but the expression for active power. Unit is watts, and for higher power we are having kilowatts as the unit. And this is the arrangement. Fixed coil connected in series with the load, and the moving coil or the pressure coil connected across the supply voltage with the help of a series resistor of high resistance value. You can see the pointer attached to moving coil. You can see the non-linear scale, and it will be expressed in watts. So this is the arrangement. Now, errors found in these dynamometer type moving coil instruments, a few of them are frictional errors. Due to small torque weight ratio, frictional losses are slightly large and high frictional loss. Now, temperature error due to heating of working coils and other resistance coils by the operating current. Error due to stray magnetic fields. Since the operating field produced by the air-cooled fixed coils are somewhat weak, these instruments are more sensitive to stray magnetic field, reduced to some extent by shielding. Now you are having the last one as the frequency error. Change in frequency causes errors due to change in reactance of the operating coils when it is operated in AC, and due to change in magnitude of the eddy currents set up in the metal parts of the instrument near the operating portion. Now the reference books I had referred to: Basic Electrical Engineering by D.C. Kulshetra, A Course in Electrical and Electronic Measurements and Instrumentation by J.B. Gupta. It's a very nice book, and I had even listened to the video presented by Professor Abhishek Chatterjee of IIT Kharagpur on the topics dynamometer type moving coil instruments, electrical measurement and electronic instruments, lecture 2, 3 and 4. That's all regarding dynamometer type moving coil instrument. Thank you.